Hey guys, how you doing? Raymond here from the Raymond Report with your free NBA basketball previews and predictions for Wednesday. It is January 18th. Hope you're having yourself a good start to your wacky Wednesdays. As always, don't forget, subscribe to our channel by tapping that notification bell in the top right hand corner, or hit the subscribe button below this video if you are using a mobile device. Today's podcast is brought to you by your good friends right here at atsstats.com. All right, let's go to the SBI, the Sports Betting Index, and let's see how the association did last night with the favorites, underdogs, the overs, the unders, and it was a 500 night. In fact, the favorites 2-2 last night in the NBA, 2-2 to the point spread. Also, the over-under is 2-2, so let's take a look at the 7-day average. We are in a bullish market. 72.9% of the favorites have cashed in the last 7 days, and not too bad also on the point spread, 60.3%. And normally when we compare the 7-day average on the point spread to the favorites, it's nearly that 15 to 20% mark. So it's tightening up here with the favorites cashing in at 60.3%, underdogs 39.9%, and the over, we're in a bullish market on the overs because the over has cashed in 57.4%, meaning the under has come in 42.7%. All right, let's get to your NBA action here today for Wednesday, January 18th. We're going to kick it off in Dallas, and Big D with the Atlanta Hawks travel to Dallas, take on Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavs a 2-point favorite. The over-under is listed at 233. ATS forecast system play, going to go with a tight one in this one. In fact, look at this. 113.8 for Dallas, 113.4 for the Atlanta Hawks. The over-under at 227.3, so we do like it to go under the total. Looking at the Heat's last game, a victory over the Miami Heat. 121 to 113 was the final, while Dallas, they lost to Portland 140 to 123, so that's a lot of points to give up on defense. We'll see how they bounce back. Dallas on a 2-game losing streak, while the Atlanta Hawks coming in hot on a 3-game winning streak. Washington Wizards taking on the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden tonight in New York. The Knicks a 6-point home court favorite. The over-under is listed at 222. ATS forecast system play, going to go New York in this one. 115 to 107, the over-under at 222.5. So we do like it to go a hair over the total. Looking at the New York Knicks last game, a loss to the Toronto Raptors by 2, 123 to 121. And they do have a 70.9% chance of winning here against the Washington Wizards tonight, who are currently on a 2-game straight-up ATS losing streak. And they lost their last game to the Golden State Warriors, 127 to 118. They are now 18 and 26 on the year. And if you look at the over-unders for both these teams in the last 10, 6-3-1 for Washington, 5-4-1 for the New York Knicks, and that's why your Kogo's at a coin flip at 50%. Kogo stands for chance of game going over the total. Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the Indiana Pacers tonight in Oklahoma City, and you can see the Thunder a 4-point favorite. The over-under at 240. ATS forecast system play, gonna go with the Thunder in this one, 118 to 115, the over-under to land on 234.2. So we do like this game to stay under the total. Oklahoma City coming off an upset win over the Brooklyn Nets, so they could be in a letdown spot here tonight. But they're on a 3-game win streak. They've covered the spread in their last 6 games, while the Pacers, they lost to the Bucks 132-119 in their last contest, and they are now riding a 4-game losing streak. Haven't covered the spread in the last 2. They're playing on 1 day's rest. They are 23 and 22 on the season. Miami Heat taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans, a loss in their last game to the Cleveland Cavaliers. 113 to 103 was the final, while the Heat, they lost to Atlanta 121 to 113. Miami, a 2.5-point road favorite here tonight against the Pels. 219 is the total, and we are going to see another tight one here, but we're going to go with the home team in this one at the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. 108.5 for the Pelicans, 108.2 for the Heat. The over-under at 216.71. Miami just got to stay healthy. If you look at their injury report or the roster of the last couple of months, it's quite fascinating how they're still a team above 500 at 24 and 21. Charlotte Hornets taking on the Houston Rockets. The Rockets slide continues. They're now on an 11-game losing streak. They haven't covered the spread in their last 7, coming off a loss to the Lakers. 140 to 132 was the final in that one. While the Charlotte Hornets, they lost to the Boston Celtics 130 to 118. They are now on a 5-game losing streak. Haven't covered the spread in their last 4. They are now 2-8 in their last 10 contests, 3-7 against the point spread. While the Houston Rockets 1-9 against the number. And I did have the Charlotte Hornets at plus 6.8 on the value index, but you got 2 teams with a pretty bad record, 11-34, 10-34 for the Houston Rockets. So company loves misery, and they're going to meet tonight at the Toyota Center. Memphis Grizzlies taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Should be a good one tonight at the FedEx Forum. The Grizzlies a minus 7-point favorite. The over-under at 225. ATS forecast system play, gonna go with the Grizz in this one, 114-107, the over-under at 222.5. So we do like this game to stay under the total. Memphis coming in hot on a 10-game win streak. Their last 3 games have gone over the total, while the Cavaliers, winning their last game against the New Orleans Pelicans, 113-103 was the final. They are now 28-17 on the season. The Grizzlies, 30-13. Grizzlies 10-0 in their last 10 games, 7-3 against the number, while the Cavaliers 6-4 straight up, 4-5-1 against the point spread. And I did have the Memphis Grizzlies listed at minus 5.7 on my value index, so a tad overvalued tonight against the Cavaliers. LA Clippers taking on the Utah Jazz. The Jazz coming off a victory in their last game against the Minnesota Timberwolves. 126-125 was the final. The Clippers losing yesterday to the Philadelphia 76ers by 10. 120-110 was the final in that one. Tonight in Utah, the Jazz a minus 6-point favorite. 226.5 is the total. And we're going to go with the home team in this one. 116-112 for the Utah Jazz. The over-under at 228.99. So we do like it to go over the total. A 67.9% chance of winning here for the Jazz compared to 40.4 for the LA Clippers. Clippers are 2-8 straight up in their last 10 games. 3-7 against the numbers. While the Utah Jazz have covered the spread 60% of the time in their last 10 games. And 80% of those games went over the total. Denver Nuggets hosting the Minnesota Timberwolves here tonight. Denver coming off a win last night, so they're in a back-to-back game situation, and guess what? They're now on a 7-game win streak. They are an 8.5-point favorite here tonight against the T-Wolves. 236.5 is the total, and we're going to go with Denver in this one. 122-116, the over-under at 239.4, so we do like this game to go over the total. The chance of winning this game straight up does favor Denver at 76.7%. They are now 31-13 on the year, 9-1 straight up in their last 10 games, 7-2-1 against the number, while the Minnesota Timberwolves, they are 22-23. And 6-4 straight up in their last 10. But look at their strength of schedule. They're not playing a lot of competitive teams, and maybe that's why they're 6-4 straight up in their last 10 games. 30.6% compared to 36.7%. So both these teams not battle tested in their last 7 games. So that means they're beating the beatables, and we'll see what happens here tonight. I kind of like Minnesota getting plus 8.5. Sacramento taking on the LA Lakers. The Lakers winning their last game against the Houston Rockets 140-132, while the Sacramento Kings, they beat the San Antonio Spurs 132-119. We're giving the Kings tonight an 80% chance of winning compared to 40% for the LA Lakers. The Kings coming in on a 4-game straight up and ATS win streak. They've seen their last 5 games go over the total. They are now 24-18 on the year, 7-3 straight up in their last 10 games, and 70% of those games have gone over the total. My line on the game here tonight, I did have Sacramento at minus 2.65, and you can see a tad overvalued at minus 4. But you know what? If you do like the Kings, I would recommend them on the money line against the Lakers here tonight, and I might have a nice system to show you in just a few minutes. All right, let's take a look at the top trends of the day. These are the 80% Club stats. You can get these each and every day right here at atsstats.com. And as I always preach on the channel, trends are your friends, but they don't pay the rent. The Dallas Mavericks are 9-1 straight up as a home team, coming off an away loss as an underdog the last 2 years. So nice bounce back trend right here on the Dallas Mavericks. 9-1 straight up, and that's good for 90%. Folks, you can get the free Raymond Report stats each and every day by going to our website at atsstats.com. All right, your number one sports betting option in the markets for today, January 18th. We're going to lean with the New Orleans Pelicans in the top situational handicapping spot at plus 2.5 against Miami. Neutral 5 days, that means they're 4-3, 3-4 in the last 7 games against those B-type teams. Well, flip a quarter, they've won 50% of those games, and they're on a 2-game under streak. 26-18 on the year, 17-5 at home, 9-13 on the road. So you can see they do very well at the Smoothie King Center this year. My line on the game plus 4.25, so you're getting a little bit of a haircut here at 2.5, and you're going to have a 43.5% chance of winning on the cow. So the New Orleans Pelicans, your number one handicapping spot today, courtesy of atsstats.com. And speaking of more stats and trends, if you go to atsstats.com, go to the NBA, go to free stats, and I got nice Raymond Report Light stats for you here. If you go to the bottom, I got a nice system stat here on the Grizzlies. And now you're saying, Ron, okay, they're 7.5 points or something like that tonight. Yeah, 7. So they're a touchdown favorite against the Cavaliers. I don't know if I'm too crazy about laying 7. Well, maybe this will convince you. Anytime an NBA team in the NBA league the last 3 years, you can see here, as a 6.5 to 9 point home favorite before a non-division game playing on 1 day's rest. and the last 3 games have gone over the total. Now that's very important because that means a lot of points have been scored in the last 3 games. The home favorite of 6.5 to 9 is 14-5 straight up, 14-5 against the point spread, 17-2 straight up. So let me recap that league system trend. When any NBA home favorite of 6.5 to 9, the last 3 years before non-division game, playing on 1 day's rest, the last 3 have gone over, 17-2 straight up, 14-5 against the number, and you can get all these stats each and every day at atsstats.com. And I told you I wouldn't leave you hanging on that Sacramento stat. I do have a nice league system trend here on the Kings. And you know what? The Kings, they really benefited last year with that trade with the Pacers. And so is the Pacers. I thought both teams have done pretty well in that trade. But I think Sacramento looking like the winner of that trade right now. When any NBA teams are 3.5 to 6 point road favorite last 3 years versus a division foe, and they allowed 120 or less points against in their last game, and it was between 116 and 120, 12-3 straight up, 11-4 against the point spread. Give me Sacramento money line tonight against the Lakers. All right, there you have it. That is the NBA Raymond Report today for a wacky Wednesday, January 18th. Don't forget, folks, visit the website, get the free Raymond Report light stats. Go to NBA, go to free NBA stats, and you can get all the league matchups right here at atsstats.com. Cheers.